my bio break. Go ahead, Michelle. You have some announcements.
Okay. What the hell world was that? Hey, great to be here on April 29th.
It is. And, of course, it's the firing line. And, of course, you ask questions. People to call the 888-212-8871 number or email us from the contact us at NUTRI medical.com. Go ahead.
So what we get at the top of the hour now is...
A bumper.
Is a song.
It's top of the hour is Steely Dan, my favorite song.
Do we take requests for songs or what?
No, I already got to put there. We can change them later, but I like that one because it is the last call to the last ball. It's the time to get your tools for survival, physical health survival, and sweet treats and surprises for the little buckaroos.
So I figure you're trying to get me to go shopping. Is that what that song is? Like, get out and shop this weekend.
Shopping for your NutriMeds to stay healthy. How's that?
Well, Bill, it's great to be here. It's the last, I guess it's only a couple shows with RBN, which is really nice. And I know Bill's very happy about being here, and so am I, because if Bill's happy, I'm happy. Happy husband, happy life. I always hear the happy wife, Bill.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I want you to know, especially the new listeners, that on Mondays I'm always here. You can ask for me if I don't pick up the phone. I try to talk to you about any of your concerns or anything you want me to ask Bill, and just about anything. We talk about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you're very good at kind of paring down what people really want to hear and then making it understandable after, because I have... As I say, I'm a warthog for God. I'm now I have my big mug here of Calm Mind and Brain Mag, so it calms me down to almost human speed.
Keep it down, because it's got ice in it.
Don't worry, I'm being quiet.
Rattle. Yeah. And the number is 888-212-8871. That's the number to call for if you don't want to order any of NutriMeds online. You can order this way. And I wanted to let you know that that's the only way that we pay our electric bills, big water bills here in California, and every other bill you can think of is just
studio
from
bills
the sale,
here for RBN and for everything.
It's just from the sale of our NutriMeds. So please support NutriMedical and keep us on the air and all that wonderful free advice that you get from Dr. Deagle, because I can tell you that many people have said you should charge for it, but we're not, because God has not said to charge for it.
Actually, it stopped in 2008, and what we do is I only charge for a consult if someone loads me down with a mountain of medical records and other things. Other than that, most cases, and again, anybody can email. Only our regular customers can get a call back. Go ahead, Michelle.
So, Bill, I wanted to bring to everyone's attention on that note that we have on the front page of NutriMedical.com, we have our Allison Med on sale, which, Bill, is a great anti-pathogenic. So is the Nutridyne and NutriDefense and Brain Power. And the Silver 100 is 15% off and free shipping.
Wow.
And, Bill, what's the difference between our silver and the silvers that I seem to hear from time to time?
Well, we had an
radios. I thought I got rid of them on GCN, and here they are back here in RBN.
Well, let me explain. Okay, we had Jay on, who's got a tremendous background in chemistry, and we spent an entire half hour in hour number 2 on Wednesday with Jay talking about this. Silver is only lethal or stimulating your stem cells when it's in the ionic state. Ours is 100% in a citrate ionic complex. All other silvers, nanoparticle, collated, whatever, are all just chunks of silver that has no biological activity until it's in the ionic state. So maybe 0.001% is actually ionized. And then, by the way, if it attaches to proteins or halides like chlorine, or bromides or halides like fluoride, it becomes inactivated very quickly. So ours is thousands of times stronger, and it crosses through the blood-brain barrier and the organ tissues, so it goes through the biofilm. So you can take some sprays and neutralize your asthma, your allergies, turn off a burn, stimulate tissues to heal, like your stem cells, but it will not cause aguria, which is where you get what we call the blue man troop, like Las Vegas, you turn blue, because you're taking very tiny amounts, or we call the noble metal ionic silver.
And, Bill, it comes in spray and dropper, and you know what I do every morning is just take 4 or 5 drops, and then I'm
I have it on my desk right here.
But it's also so clean that you can put it directly in your eyes, the dropper.
Right, in fact, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Also, you can put it in your hydrofloss dental machine for cleaning out your teeth and doing your hydroflossing, because it changes the charge of the plaque. And the nanoparticle Silver 100 will kill off all the plaque-forming bacteria.
A big question that I got this past Monday with all the phone calls and actually some emails as well is concern from our listeners over at GCN if they can still get the podcasts.
Yes, in fact, the podcasts are now fixed up. They're all operational. If they go to the second button down for on NutriMedical.com, in fact, that's
the
where
front page of NutriMedical.
Front page of NutriMedical is where you get all the media. And the first one is a Listen Live with the Showcast link to.
Show me how to do it.
If you go to the second button down, it says the NutriMedical Show Archives MP3 Podcasts. And if you go to that, you're going to get this button here, which is going to basically bring you right directly over to the podcast for the NutriMedical Show Archives, right?
How did you do that, Bill? I don't even know how you did that.
You just go and hit it, you press the control button so you don't lose the page, and you just simply pop it up, and there you go. And it'll bring you to what's called Deagle-network.com /category/podcasts.
I see it right there. Subscribe to podcast on the right.
Yeah, on the right we have every registry, which includes iTunes, Android, by email, RSS feeds, what's called the...
What?
Broadcast Plus, FM, everything. In other words, so as soon as you subscribe, it'll automatically download. As soon as it's done, will notify you. Also, when you sign up to our live stream, it'll notify if there's a live show or conference or a VOD video on demand. And we also are transferring it over to our YouTube and also to MP3. So
we're getting pretty fancy here because we're also getting an app made for your iPhones. That's another. We'll have that in about a week.
Probably by the early part of the week, by Monday or Tuesday. It's called Reactor, and it's a specifically designed app for NutriMedical in our media center. And you'll even be able to order product there from the app. You can have your iPhone, your iPad, and your computer. Anywhere you go, you can connect anywhere in the world. So
now what we encourage you to go to NutriMedical.com and find all these goodies for podcasts and iTunes.
And by the way, we're paying the cost of the app. You pay nothing. You get the app free to connect to us.
Of course.
Okay, plus all the...
As long as all those good people keep supporting us, we can afford to put things out free.
Yeah.
Well, when we start charging for an app, you'll know we're all going down. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see, Bill. So you're going to send out probably an email, mass email.
I'll send a mass email. So one of the things
this weekend with all this on it,
if you're placing orders by phone and you don't have your email, when you call the 888-212-8871 number, just tell whoever's taking the order, whether it's Chris, Mitzi, or Michelle,
or Steve,
Steve, then what you need to do is tell them to put your email on the list so you'll get all the mass emails and make sure you're also getting registered. Tell Mitzi and Chris to do this. You're also getting registered on our Deagle network so that you'll get all the notifications of live stream videos and podcasts. As soon as they come out, it'll go boom on your phone or your iPad or computer and tell you it's ready.
Henry, hi Henry from Corona, California. You know Henry, Bill, up the road here. His wife has dead skin buildup. I thought he was supposed to call Mylea or something like that. And she wants to know, is there a product that can prevent dead skin buildup?
Well, firstly, dyshydrotic skin.
Yes.
The first thing you want to take to try to help your skin build proper structure is Collagen Max. Yep. Second thing is pregnenolone cream, which is an anti-inflammatory, and curcumin cream, which works on the epigenetics of trying to heal the tissue. So those two creams and the Collagen Max is what I'd start with.
Okay.
And then you can add Mountain Red Velvet. That's enough.
All right, let's get into the emails. We have a lot for today. Let's try to get through them all. That'll be great.
Right.
We'll start with our firefighter, new friend here. Bill is his name. He's a retired lieutenant on the FDNY, Fire Department, New York.
Well, yeah,
New York City.
So this is one of our brave and loyal firefighters that works through 9/11.
Yes. So it says, hey, Dr. Deagle, first, I'm not on any meds at all, and I don't use drugs. I have an organic beer from time to time. That's nice. I use some oils, I guess, from time to time, and get a liver cleanse. I don't eat fish anymore. For years now, 15 plus. I eat meat, chicken, and veggies, all organic, non-GMO, fresh water, filtered. Anyways, number one, I lost 40% capacity of lung function due to about 10 weeks after the World Trade Center. A doctor told him he had chemical scarring. That's the first thing he wanted you to address.
Well, I won't get in too much detail, but I did this the other day, but the World Trade Center towers was a war game, and there were icons inserted by U.S. Space Command and NORAD. And number two, when the buildings were demolished, they were nuclear demolitions in the chain of pearls in the center of the building, and RDX cutting the outside joists. when the building was vaporized, anything that was paramagnetic, aluminum in the plenum chambers of air conditioning units, paramagnetic, which is concrete, which is a paracrystalline liquid, people, anything that contains water, for example, or paramagnetic materials, would immediately transfer the X-rays and turn it into a nanoparticle aerosol. So concrete didn't come down in big chunks, so it was aerosolized. So 1/3 of the mass of the building was not in the debris pile, or hauled away to Great Kills site in Staten Island. It was turned into a nanoparticle vapor. So these people got what's called particle disease, and they had exposure not only to heavy metals and nanoparticles, but they also got exposure to biotoxins, because in the buildings there were 5,000 tons of dioxins and dibenzofurans and step-down transformers in the walls of the towers that were turned into a nanoparticle vapor. And in fact, it doubled the level of dioxins and dibenzofurans on the entire planet by burning those buildings. And those directly interfere with folic acid. They block folic acid like fluorouracil, which is a chemotherapy agent, when you put people on chemo for the last 5 decades. And what they did is they not only basically put the world on chemo, but they also gave nanoparticles that went in the atmosphere of the entire planet, but especially lower Manhattan. What's happening is he's getting a fibroblast induction of what's called restrictive lung disease, which causes internal scarring of the lung. And you have, if you do a test called a flow volume loop and a DLCO to look at diffusion capacity and oxygen, you'll see the DLCO drop. So we have 3 things we have to do with them. Number 1, break up the scar tissue. Number 2, detoxify the lung of the heavy metals and nanoparticles and the biotoxins. Number 3, resurrect the lung tissue itself, and there are ways of us doing that to regenerate his lung tissue. And make sure there's no secondary pathogens that are growing in the lungs, because often with that amount of damage, he'll have a lot of stealth pathogens, mycobacteria, fungi, and viruses growing in his lung tissue.
By the way, he's trying to call you too. You better be sure. I'll make sure.
I already talked to him.
That he gets
I actually talked to him.
Bill.
I talked to him significantly the other day, but I'm
been trying to get
emailing and I'm emailing back. And by the way, I get a ton of.
So what is the protocol for that?
Well, I'll give it the basics, because it's pretty. You do multiple.
I'm sure it's very, very complicated.
Oh, very complicated.
The basics.
Cell detox glutathione to stop the peroxy radical. Detox with heavy metals with xenoestrogen detox for the chemicals, and for the heavy metals, Keeler Max. And for resurrecting lung tissue, you want to use Mountain Red Deer Velvet and the phospholipids and Omega Supreme Krill. And the NutriDefense to boost the immune system and stop the free radicals, because the polyphenol catechin in the NutriDefense and the immune boosting effect and the ability to disrupt viruses, because there's often, when you get a damage to a lung, you're going to have stealth viruses growing in the respiratory bronchioles and the bronchi that are going to increase the cytokines in the lung tissue, so you get more scarring.
He says he also has skin cracking, flaking behind my ears, and redness. Yeah,
well, what's going to happen is the heavy metals are going to be absorbed into his lymphatics and into his skin, and they're going to cause a lymphangitis of those areas too. So he's got a lymphangitis and dermatitis caused by the heavy metals and the biotoxins.
So would you put pregnenolone on that?
I put pregnenolone and curcumin cream, and internally I take Collagen Max and Mountain Red Velvet.
Next, his...
And the phospholipids and the Omega Supreme Krill.
How about this one? This one, I get this question a lot, so I'm going to get you to address it, and that's fungus under nails.
The first thing
toenails.
Believe it or not, the first thing to take is take Allicin Med capsules orally and apply not only Nutridyne to the toenails, but take the Nutridyne orally.
Yes.
And then NutriDefense, and that 3 will knock it out. And
Nutridyne
amazing.
Is great.
We had some people just take Allicin Med, and they can't believe it. They didn't touch the nails, and the fungus just started to go after a few weeks to a month.
But the best is the Nutridyne directly on it. It's
directly
really,
on it, yeah. It'll kill anything. It's amazing.
Then he says, my left, what is it? I need reading glasses. Well, that's kind of comes with age too, doesn't it?
Well, no, what happens is the lens becomes more rigid because you get cross-linking of the stroma of the lens. And to de-link it, you use...
More rigid from what?
Rigid because of cross-linking. So here's what happens. You get free radicals, singlet oxygen. Then the body converts it to hydroperoxy, nitroperoxy radical. Way to get rid of that is
You mean from the exposure?
No, just aging,
just
but
aging.
ultraviolet light. For example, the left eye gets cataracts 3 times faster than the right eye because it's the eye closest to the window of a car.
Yeah.
When people are driving during the day.
I've heard that with cancer too on their
left arm, yeah. So what you do is you take Nutritrala and carnosine delinker, which is the one that delinks it, and you take fat-soluble thiamine, which is their ultrathiamine B1, and that delinks the eye, and then take Vision Max, and it'll help prevent free radicals in the eyeball. So it'll slow the progression. And then a carnosine, the KNC eye drops are dimethylcarnosine developed by Dr. Babachev in Moscow at the Russian Institute, and it'll prevent further cross-linking. And if you less than 20/50 vision loss, it'll reverse it. So the KNC, along with our
say it slowly.
CAN-C, along with our Vision Max, the cell detox glutathione, and of course these other things will help delink it.
He says, "May God bless you, Dr. Deagle." That's very sweet.
There you go. Well, he gives me talents to bless others. And I'm here to, this is a ministry. That's why we provide this care free. We just expect that you will exclusively get your nutraceutical help from us and not go all over the place thinking that once you've heard something that sounds like what I talk about, you can find it elsewhere, which, by the way, you can't.
Bill, Jacqueline from Fullerton, California. But I happen to know she's moved to the Netherlands and doing ministry over there.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
She is, yeah. She just got married.
So, no, she's gone over there permanently or temporarily?
Permanently.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they spend time in India, too.
Yeah, we have people, by the way, that are all over the world that are regularly listen to the program, or we've shipped supplements on every country on Earth. In fact, I think we've shipped everywhere. The only one I haven't heard recently is McMurdo Bay in Antarctica.
Okay, she says, "Hello, Michelle. Just thought to send you a note and some links about us," which she did. Thank you, Jacqueline. Just over 2.5 years ago, I was completely healed from CVID, common variable immunodeficiency. I do not need my gamma globulin infusions anymore. I prayed for this healing for over 20 years when I heard Dr. Deagle mention fairly quickly, she says, on his radio program that you don't need infusions of gamma globulin, but that he has this in a pill form. And it was said something to this effect, she says. She was so excited, amazed to hear she phoned the office and left a message for the doctor. And long story short, Bill, you returned her call. And she did this. You put her on a program.
Yeah, she took NutriMune, and it's also in the Ageless.
And she said she improved her eating as well, and her knees. She was on her knees praying all the time.
Yeah, well, the ultimate healer is a great physician, God.
She wanted me to tell you this on the air today. I am free from infusions. My doctor had my blood test done to verify that I have a working immune system, and I feel strong. Praise
the Lord. As I say, the ultimate physician,
great.
I'm just one of his employees. The ultimate physician is a great physician.
She gives the glory to God.
There you go.
And then what's left over to Bill.
I just get some reflections, you know. There you go. Back in a moment. More questions from our dear audience. And again, the number to call if you want to get your question on air is 888-212-8871, or do contact us at NutriMedical, NUTRIMEDICAL.com. Our other website where all the news is clayandiron.com. So go to the buttons there and see all the media and sign up for the Blueberry, the live stream, and of course for our podcast.
Yeah,
and you'll get notices.
Really high tech these days. Thanks
I'm getting
to Jim.
trained by Jim in New York.
Thanks
and
to
his
Jim.
buddies.
Yes, he's been a blessing like you wouldn't believe. He's really updated and made us like he brought us into the 21st century. That's what he did.
He says let's say I'm a good student because I listen to every word he says, and when he gets lost and he goes to his buddies, he comes back and says, "I got the answer," and I'm ready. So I'm writing notes down. And
he's brilliant, Bill.
Yeah, he's
what
smart.
He has done and as quickly as
well, we worked
so
every show for 2 or 3 hours after every show, working like crazy to get all the stuff up for all of our listeners.
See all the blessings that happen when you leave a station and you go somewhere else.
What do you mean?
Everything happens good.
I've left radio prison over at GCN. I'm now.
Oh my gosh!
I'm actually the problem is though I'm walking on these clouds I call RBN clouds, and I'm also got my own live stream premium channel on YouTube and all these other.
Well, thanks to Jim, we've got everything going there. So.
We got the whole everything now.
Bill, next is Ridley from Colorado. Heard you on Caravan to Midnight this morning.
Yeah.
So much of what you talked about put many different fields of my own study together.
Yeah, John B. Wells will be on the program in the next week or so.
Okay.
And he's a good friend of mine. And John has his own subscription video, so you'll see me on video there when you actually see. You'll see my big bonker eyes and expressions when I'm talking.
Bonker eyes. Thank you so much. Listen to me. Listen.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let me finish here. My wife was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease about 10 years ago. She is getting ready to undergo DMS surgery.
Yeah.
Do you have supplements or anything that you think might help her?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let me explain what Parkinson's is. The primary motor neuron is the rolandic fissure in your brain, where the nerve impulse starts to make movements down your motor end plate in your arms and legs and your body. The secondary motor neuron is in the is a thing called the tectum of the midbrain above the fourth ventricle, right? And that tectum means the roof of the midbrain. That secondary motor neuron, there's a lot of cells that make dopamine, and if you get a dopamine deficiency or the cells get attacked, and you dismyelinate them, or you get an increase in what's called the Fenton reaction, where you produce what's called hydronitroproxy radical with free iron and heavy metals, you start to end up losing the secondary motor neuron, so you lose a number of motor connections between there and the tertiary motor neuron, which is the anterior horn cell in your spinal cord, anteromedial spinal cord. That's the third motor neuron, goes all the way to the motor end plate in your arms and legs and your body. Now, the way to stop it, there's three things you have to do. Firstly, it is an autoimmune disease. It's a free radical disease, and it is a dismyelinating disease. So we stop the Fenton reaction with NutriDefense. We stop it with cell detox glutathione and Nutritrella. We myelinate with ultrathymine B1, right? With ultrathymine B1, which is our fat-soluble thiamine. We want to increase the dopaminergic levels with our what's called our mood energizer, which is acetyltyrosine. Acetyltyrosine increases the levels of dopamine in that part of the brain, and we reduce we remyelinate again, as I mentioned, with the phospholipids and the omega supreme krill, and then the minerals in Minerals Plus. There are other things we do in that. For people with bad Parkinson's disease, I would often recommend other technologies, but we can leave that for another time, like mild hyperbaric oxygen and transcranial.
I'll give you the email.
Transcranial lumen photon and micropulse and other things that you can do. So, and there's also peptides that I have that will actually regenerate different parts of the body or brain, and we have those that can also help, and stem cell therapy. So that's just a quick overview. The most important things are, number one, cognition plus and brain power. They stop the Fenton reaction with the NutriDefense, and to remyelinate the omega supreme krill oil. And as you do those, you'll start to stop the reactions. You'll start to see remyelination. You'll start to see those neurons that were kind of not firing work.
Bill, I'm going to make sure you get his email, as well as many others. And if you're waiting for Dr. Bill to answer your email, he's a little behind. He's got a gazillion, but I think you're going to
get caught
up this weekend.
Right. That's only the last few days. I had a lot, but I will get caught up by tomorrow. I've been super busy trying to get all these other bells and whistles done, but...
Next, Bill, is Carol in an email. I wanted to contact you to ask a question. My daughter just got married last October. Congratulations, I'd say, and would like a child. Oh, look at this. They gave us like 5 minutes.
It's a short.
What is that?
It's a short segment, the one at the bottom of the hour.
Yeah.
And then we get another bio break.
Well, I guess we'll have to... Carol, I apologize. We'll be back after this quick break.
And we got a long segment now, so we have lots of time to answer all your questions. Cardivite, and that's the best formula for your heart. Go ahead, Michelle.
That's right. They won't want me on. They're talking about these commercials.
You cause trouble. Go ahead, Michelle. You have some more questions.
Bring the trouble on. Okay. Carol, we were taught, remember, she said that her daughter was getting married, and she wanted to have a child. We got that far. She is 41 and found out all is well, but has a high FSH. Is there anything natural that will help her? She lives out of Atlanta, Georgia, and we are asking if anyone there would be... I'm not sure what she's trying to say. Anyway, she said she's been taking the Nutridyne and the Allicin every day. I live in tick country and have not been bitten one time.
When you take Allicin
she says, I decided to take the Allicin because I tested for number 4 of the Lyme disease bacteria.
Right, and there's 34 different substrains of Lyme babesiosis or ehrlichiosis in the northern hemisphere in Europe. Mm-hmm. And when you take thiol compounds, Alamax or Allicin Med, insects won't bite you. They get freaked out because you produce these thiol compounds. So ticks and biting insects like mosquitoes won't even go near you. So that's a good idea.
And the Nutridyne.
Now you mentioned about this F something or other.
Yeah, she's trying. She is. She didn't. That's all she said. FSH.
Yeah, I have to see exactly.
I'm not sure what feminine hormone. I'm not sure what she's talking about.
Yeah, follicle stimulating hormone. Yeah. So the FSH levels, what you're doing is she needs to give me the full hormone profile, and I'll give her an opinion on it, because there are things that will help to improve her normal fertility, maintain the pregnancy, and will not be toxic. And that's why I don't like these beads are injected in women to make them infertile or to, for hormone levels and so on. I think it's all really crazy. We had the discussion the other day about women getting beads put under their skin, and most of these are what we call a 16-hydroxyestrone adduct of DNA, and they actually increase the risk of breast cancer and uterine cancer. So you don't want to do it artificially. You want your own hormones, using the transdermal pregnenolone and DHEA, so your body will make it, and femgesterone for progesterone, which is, by the way, we're going to maintain pregnancy. So the femgesterone will help to maintain pregnancy because progesterone is pro-gestational, pro-pregnancy, and your uterus produces, along with the trophoblast of the placenta, produces the human chorionic gonadotropin, which maintains the earlier stages, and then it's the output of the woman's progesterone is the first stage, is the first trimester, and the second and beyond is the HCG that maintains the pregnancy, so that
I'll give you Carol's email too. Next, Bill, is Oscar from California. I have a question for you, and I pray and hope that you can help me. He says, I had a macular hemorrhage on my left eye that I've been trying to treat through natural remedies since my incident with this retina doctor that made my left eye worse through Avastin injections. What's that?
Yeah, Avastin is a drug that has a black box warning. It's used for cancer. And they have a limit of usually 2 or 3 injections. It's actually, all the people that I've talked to who've had Avastin injections, it's relatively useless and can increase blindness. So it's not what I would approach to do the problem.
He says that he went on some supplements, right, that were recommended by, so I guess it says Bill Sardi, but he says that he's a health reporter.
No, he's only a journalist. He's not a doctor.
He's just a journalist. And it didn't work. And then he said he kept looking further, and he looked for a retina specialist, which he found a Dr. Robert Abel in Delaware. And he said that he's an ophthalmologist, Bill.
Yeah, he's not. But is he a biological ophthalmologist or a conventional?
He does holistic and regular medicine.
Okay.
But you know what's funny? He called him to ask for a practitioner here in California, and that doctor gave him your name and phone number. That's why he's actually sending this email.
Yeah.
So he says, my question for you is, can you help me?
Oh yeah, of course.
And I'm 58 years old. And
the first thing is you got to find out why he developed an arterial vascular occlusion, either due to a vasospasm or a microemboli that went to that part of the vessel. Secondly, you want to find out if he's got hyperviscous blood or some other reason for formation of plaque. And then you want to make sure you improve his microcirculation, remyelinate the rods and cones in the back of the eye, and stop oxidative stress. And if we can find all these factors out, including the fact he might have a stealth pathogen like Lyme or babesiosis or something like Toxocara catus or canis, these parasites you can actually use an ophthalmoscope and see actually squirming around the back of the eye.
Ooh,
it's like, that show Monsters Inside Me? They had on DirecTV a few years ago. People were looking at it. They actually had to take it off because it was too squirmy. It freaked out people. Seeing the monsters inside their body.
Look at you with a big smile on your face.
Well,
and his hands folded here like yum.
Well, that's why my medical professors always said I should go into pathology, but I said I don't like dealing with dead people. I want to deal with live people.
Of course. Okay, Bill, so I'm going to give you that email, too, and let's get on to Clyde.
Yeah. As they say, pathologists know the exact reasons why people are dead, but it'll be 50 to 100 years before that information passes on to the live practitioners that actually prevent it.
Okay, Bill.
That's what the pathologist told me years ago, I said. Yeah, that's great fun. So in other words, the pathologists know, the family doctors know, this is a funny story, the family doctors know very little about a whole lot. The specialists know a whole lot about very little. And the pathologists know a lot about everything and the reason why it happened, but all their patients are dead.
Oh, my God. That's a good one, Bill. Okay, Clyde, he says, regarding the water ozonators, do we have water ozonators?
Yes, we do.
And
air well, there's 2 separate systems. There's one that's the plasma ozone air filtration, and you got to clean the filter. And we have the ozonator generator that's used in for ozonating water, for drinking water, for rectal ozonation, and for also attaching to our hyperbaric oxygen chamber.
Is that under products?
Yes.
Under what? Ozonators or QRMA or?
Well, I can go over to that. I can see if I can find the link here. If you go to products.
While you're looking, he said the description indicates that the output of the ozonator is pure ozone with no pollutants. He wants to know how he can avoid the production of NOx gas.
There's no nitric oxide gas forming. It just creates ozone. Yeah.
So
it doesn't generate NOx gas, no.
Okay, so where did you find it there?
You'll see under, you see ozone body and home detox. You'll see hydrogen anion whole body detox system first, then you'll see ozonated water generator, and then you'll see ozone plasma multi-stage air filtration system. So we have all three of those.
Are those descriptions all up to date?
Yes, in fact, I have information that I have up to date that I'm putting on the some more stuff. So I'm putting on the hydrogen anion whole body detox systems, because those will detox your body from chemicals and heavy metals, and they're quite an advanced system. They also help with people, like firefighters, like our gentleman from New York City. That's another system that can help him pull it out of his body.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can use things like infrared sauna. We have ways of contacting people on that. But this is a whole body system, and it's something you can do at home, and it's not that expensive.
Brad from Massachusetts. Good day, kind doctor. I realize you're very busy. I currently have your NutriDefense, Allicin Minerals Plus, Vision Max, Prostate Flow, and Xenoestrogen
Detox, yeah.
So thankful. Can I take a serving of them all in the morning before I eat?
Of course.
Will my cup of cold brew coffee in the morning affect the results?
No.
Affect the results?
I usually tell people, rather than drinking coffee, you're better to have the Sports Energy Light, which is a special slow-release form of green coffee bean that also is detox. It has the antioxidants in it, and it won't give you a kind of a surge to your adrenal glands and then drop like a rock. It's a nice, smooth thing, so it's better than 5-hour energy drink. So you're better to drop your Starbucks coffee or your cup of Java and go to Sports Energy Light. It gives you antioxidant protection and minerals and mitochondrial support.
You know how I wake up with my
You have your
Ageless, Life Support, and Glycemics, mix them all together with some cold water and then eat it, like Nestle's Quick.
I know. You look at it, I think...
You saw me this morning. When I was talking to you, I was eating it.
Everybody's layers. I can see the 12-year-old girl that's got into her mama's chocolate.
Guess what? Yeah, I know. I wasn't exactly allowed to do that.
Yeah, but you are now, because you're
half of a Nestle's Quick.
Yeah, now you can do it.
Now I can just take as much of that stuff as I want. But what I was going to say is that's what wakes me up. Then I'm awake.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no matter how sleepy I was or how much sleep I got, then that's what wakes me up.
Yeah, you have a combination of Ageless, Life Support, and Glycemics.
And Glycemics,
yeah.
Although if you just
I do that, plus I add other stuff too on top of it, like our NutriComplete, which is a Red's Green drink with goji berry, which is one of the highest antioxidants and all the minerals and all the veggies and everything. So if you have a child or an adult that doesn't get veggies, add a teaspoon of the NutriComplete.
I kind of have the equivalent because I have orange juice with the cod liver oil in it.
It's good, but not equivalent to the NutriComplete. It's every single vegetable, mineral, vitamin thing that you'd ever want.
What is the cod liver oil good?
Cod liver liquid is actually lowering cholesterol, preventing plaque in your arteries, and giving you a vitamin A, D, E, and K, and protecting everything from your myelin to your brain to your blood vessel walls.
It's called like omega cod liver.
Yeah, omega, because it's omega cod liver liquid. Yeah, it's really good.
You'll love that if you
boost your natural killer cell activity of your immune system.
It's so delicious. I like everything delicious. Like
this is orange. This is
delicious.
It's orange flavored cod liver liquid. It doesn't taste yuck.
Good.
Like I remember when I was a kid, going to private Catholic school into grade 5.
Oh, I remember those days.
And what they do is every Friday you'd have to go there. It was fish day because it was their Friday, and they'd give you a big spoon of this cod liver liquid, and it was. If you don't take it, you'll get your sunlight. You're going to get sick. So the nuns would be there with a big spoon of this stuff. And
actually, the school you went to, they'd strap you if you didn't take it.
I got strapped lots. I was a bad kid. I was
always
a kid.
Getting strapped.
I was a very good student, but always disrupts class.
She was telling you to be quiet.
I would ask too many questions in class, embarrasses teachers. Can
you guys imagine Bill in a classroom? Oh my goodness! In grade 5 or grade 4,
finishes tests before everybody else. Talks too much in class. Jokester.
I'm the only one that can get you to be quiet.
Oh yeah.
To this day, Marie. And his dear mom that's passed away. My sweet Maureen. Marie, in an email, Bill, my husband is scheduled for cataract surgery the end of June. Do you have a nutrition protocol that could help him avoid the surgery? He also has a problem with huge floaters in his eyes.
The floaters are called asteroid hyaloses, or sun stars.
Yes.
And they're vestigial blood vessels in the back of the eye. When the lens in the embryo is developing, it has these little blood vessels that are supposed to become transparent, and they oxidize, and you can see little chunks of the capillaries and the little vessels floating around. We use Can-C eye drops, Vision Max, and the cell detox glutathione, and I recommend Omega Supreme krill oil and ultrathiamine B1. And you can use transcranial lumen photon therapy frequency number setting 3 to regenerate the eye, and 7 for reducing inflammation and intraocular pressure. So, you don't need to do that. If you take the Can-C eye drops in 6 months, if your vision is as good as 20/50, you can reduce that significantly. And if you don't have a central, we call sclerosing cataract, you can avoid the cataract surgery. And you want to use delinkers like carnosine delinker and Nutritrala to delink the eye, because it's actually
it's simple.
Nutritrala,
Yes.
Vision Max, Can-C.
Thank you. I'm on to my next email. Why didn't I say that a minute ago? It was Dave in an email.
Yeah.
Bill. Dave, dear Dr. Bill, I'm writing to you because of a serious problem my girlfriend has. She has had arrhythmia since November, and her symptoms have progressively gotten worse. She has irregular heartbeats that come and go, and she also feels palpitations practically all day. And she has a phobia of being in crowded places. And she's become a very nervous person as a result. She's been to the cardiologist, and they gave her an electrocardiogram and an echo. And she eventually gave up and went to a homeopathic doctor and gave supplements, and that didn't work since November. So unfortunately, she's getting a bit frustrated because she has no results. She's improved her diet, and he said, I started listening to your show since you came on RBN.
Okay,
and absolutely love the information you give, so I decided to write in. That's good.
Yeah,
Dave.
I'll write back. I'll write back to. But
this is what you can do.
Yeah.
We would be. He just goes on to say thank you.
Okay. Firstly, most people in North America, 98% of the population, deficient in magnesium. When you get older, 1 person in 7 over 70 is a serious and life-threatening ventricular tachyarrhythmia or atrial fibrillation. And most of the time you can cure it by simply using total body magnesium. It doesn't happen in a month. If you take maximum dosage of our nutraceuticals, including Brain Mag and magnesium glycinate, it can take 3 to 6 months. And you can also use externally the other things we talked about before. But what I want you to understand is you need to do that along with Cardiovasc, Force colon, coleus, force scoli to help
the
with
simplest protocol be for that?
Cardiovasc.
The top 3.
Top 3 things: magnesium glycinate.
Yes.
Cardiovasc.
Yes.
Right? You get that?
Yeah.
And then the third would be force colon.
Okay. Next is Denise, and Denise is from Washington. Do you have a cavity prevention protocol? I get them quite often with regular hygiene care. She still gets...
After you brush your teeth with a Jason non-fluorinated toothpaste, rinse your mouth with a hydro floss and put in the machine Silver 100 and floss your teeth with the Silver 100, and that will get rid of the things that form cavities. It's always nanobacteria, and if you want to make better enamel in teeth, you want Collagen Max and Bone Generator and Micelle D3.
This reminds me of something really interesting. This week, I spoke with Tom from Texas,
right,
and he told me about a thing called oil pulling. And what it is coconut oil, and you swish it in your mouth and hold it in there like for 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes, like a coconut oil or a sesame. Apparently coconut oil is the best.
Right.
And I looked it up, I was a Google genius,
right, and
I looked all over the place, and there's actually, even through regular medicine, proof that can prevent cavities by
well, what it does
what it does. I even took it on a piece of paper here somewhere. Go ahead.
Yeah, oil pulling basically just
this one here about the single cells.
Yeah, what it does is it covers the lipid layer on the nanobacteria.
Yeah, that's exactly what it does.
Yeah, but what's even better, you can use oil pulling, but the most powerful thing is to get a hydro floss machine and use Silver 100 in the machine. And you floss your teeth 4 times a day, after every meal and at bedtime. Bye-bye plaque.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't get cavities.
That's true.
And then I also recommend
I don't ever get plaque.
And also
anymore.
remember, your teeth are living things, so you want Bone Generator, Collagen Max, and Micelle D3, and you're going to make better enamel and better teeth, because when the enamel breaks down and the minerals that support it are present in the Bone Generator, so that's what you do. And you can add also that Minerals Plus, which has the minerals that are necessary, copper and zinc, and if you need extra copper, you take Copper Regenimax, because very often people have now zinc in their diet with it take supplements, but they're copper deficient. And in order to make elastin and collagen, you need a proper ratio of zinc to copper. But most people think they don't realize the tooth is a living thing. Go ahead.
I was just saying this, so the best thing for your teeth is bone generator.
Bone generator, MyCell D3.
MyCell D3.
And Collagen Max.
Collagen Max.
Yeah.
Denny from Oregon. Dr. Deagle, do you recommend the use of a negative ion bracelet for overall health? If so, please advise which product to purchase. A negative ion bracelet, what's that?
Yeah, they're trying to change the ion field of their body. No. I recommend a Schumann resonance generator, which is a micropulse. It's much more powerful. Our micropulse is thousands of times. It's based on polar research at the NASA and the U.S. Space Station called a micropulse. Just while we're having the break, by the way, I was just saying how our President Trump is up there in San Francisco, and the protesters are protesting his and our pro-Donald free speech. So we'll talk about this in our live stream video after the show.
Our friend Henry from California.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to ask for you, Henry. He had a question about the lumen photon. You said generally what would be the best one for the family, even including his little grandson. It's just a year and a half
Well, my
old.
favorite is the 264 dual pad, and that's the kind I have right here at the desk. It's two 132 pads. They're big enough to cover a joint like or around your heart or your eyes. And you have tool pads so you can put on two areas like two knees or two areas of your back or whatever. So
that one costs more than the single pad, though.
Yeah, that's that's the best overall one for if you're trying to treat two areas of the body, which is very common. Mm-hmm. If you're just getting the most popular, it's the 132.
The 132.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. In terms
and
of
the
cost,
least expensive because most people
but that's the smallest you want to get is 132. The dual pad 264, you can get really big ones. We've got a number of different pads there. Depending on your health condition, I can give you recommendations, but the one that I find most useful is the dual pad 264 because you can even Velcro them together to get a big pad out of it, or you can put it in two areas like two knees.
Next is Jay in an email. Billy has a question about the PEMF machines. That's like the
pulse electromagnetic field. Yeah.
He said he knows someone that has one and it's working really well for them, and he wants to know if he should get one. And that's
well, the one I recommend is our micropulse, and the reason is because it's not super high strength. It's not going to put you into a toxic load. Mm-hmm. I have a fancy one right here in the studio that's $25,000. Which is the most powerful one is 26,000 Tesla. But I don't recommend that because it's something used by a doctor because you use it wrongly, you're going to hurt somebody. It literally make your teeth rattle in your head. So I tell people the micropulse is safe. You can use it on your head at night to sleep. You can use it over your eyes or over your
How
teeth.
much do they cost? Right
it's under $300. You can save,
great.
I think, $40. It's really inexpensive. It runs 9-volt. Batteries are rechargeable, and you don't need more power than that. And I don't recommend people get other PMF machines other than the ones that I recommend because they're likely to hurt themselves. They might think they're fine, but if they use a pulse magnetic field, for example, it'll mobilize toxins and heavy metals out of your body. And if you don't have a detox program that's comprehensive, you're going to dump them and get sick.
Yeah.
So you can't just think, well, I'm just going to pop in the machine and I'll be fine. And for a while you might be, and then all of a sudden you develop a health problem.
To find our micropulse, it's
Go
on
to
the front page.
And you'll see a little device there with
Associates, correct?
Yeah, you'll see it right there under Associates. And if you go down, you can actually see it there, the
Front
micropulse.
page.
It's right under the jurisdictionary, How to Win in Court icon. You'll see a little device with two little white rings. It says micropulse, Dr. Bob Dennis, PhD, NASA Pulse Scalar. And what was developed at NASA research in the space station. So it's the least expensive and it's the most usable and it won't hurt you.
Richard,
and it'll help you a lot.
Richard from British Columbia, Canada. Hello, Dr. Deagle. To be brief, I had a cyst removed from my pituitary in 1992. I was prescribed prednisone. A few things. Bill, what's that? Altroxin and...
Yeah, he was giving him all kinds of hormones.
There's good music, Bill. That bumper.
Yeah, you get to hear your bumper. He was giving all kinds of things, steroids, thyroid, etc.
I'm going to just give that to... I guess, Richard, I'll pass that over to Dr. Deagle, to Bill, for answering for you, my dear. Sorry we didn't have a chance because we're done.
We can give him multiglandular support. And do get your questions into Michelle. She is the mistress and the master of Hour 3.
Mistress and master? Oh, that's weird.
Of Hour 3, the firing line on Friday. Go ahead.
God bless you. Thank you for listening. We love you. We will see you next week.
And we'll be back in a little while on live stream, so sign up You can get a notice on it, and you can watch it live or VOD on demand. We'll be back.